Awesome. Very much appreciate the invitation. So, yeah, I thought I'd just do a Power BI, little tip on conditional formatting. So I find that the built-in conditional formatting isn't very good in Power BI, or it's fiddly and a bit annoying. The user interface isn't great. And if you're using a lot of conditional formatting, then you want to change something, it's really painful. So, for example, if I want to make all my bad colors, I've gone for red for bad, just my choice for this thing. So all I have to do, rather than go into each individual visual, these might be on multiple pages, I simply go across here to my color bad measure. And in my color bad measure, I've got this little hex code, and I can change it. I've already got one here to a nice bright pink. I'm not saying I would pick bright pink, but just to make it obvious. And then I replace that. And when I press enter, take a look at my screen, everything will change to bright pink, all the bads. Okay. So that centralization piece makes it really flexible when you're sharing reports with people and they go, oh, our color scheme's changed, or I don't like that color. Can you change it? Yeah, it's a 1 second fix. And the nice thing about it as well is if I just change this back to the red, okay, these codes as well, you can get from, there's a tool called Color Picker. There's the eyedropper in PowerPoint. There's all sorts of ways of getting those hex codes. But what I want to do is just show you quickly applying it here. So to this little table, I want to make my negative numbers go red and my positives go green. So I'd come over here, right click, conditional formatting font color. Okay, so up it pops and you get this horrible interface to start with. And you say, actually, I want to use rules. And then you've got to add, I want to do less than, and there is no less than. It's just not good. It's so fiddly. So instead, all I do is I choose field value, and I've already written a little formula called conditional formatting for variance. And I just click OK. And now this has gone red and this has gone green. Okay. And here's my formula, conditional formatting for variance. So all it says is, here's your variance measure. I want to use my variance measure. That's what I've got, the value I've got in this visual. And then I've said, look, if the measure is less than 0, use color bad. Otherwise, if it's greater than 0, use color good.
Oh, good.
And I just use that.
It can be used for all the visuals, I think,
Yeah. So I've done it in this one as well. If the bar is above the plat or the prior year figure, so if the bar is above the gray line, it goes red. If the bar is below the, and all I've done is a prior conditional formatting rule for prior year. And look, it's exactly the same, except all I've done, rather than using variance, I put a different measure in there.
Prior,
Yeah, so it just becomes, you've got this sort of standard little block of code here.
I think it's the best practice for using conditional formatting in our formulas.
Yeah, I really like it now. It's only something I've started using in the last sort of 6 months to a year, but I've just found it's really handy and practical. And then you just change these colors, And the other thing, if you do have a bar or something like that, if you do have something like this, and you go to the paintbrush and you change the column color. So in here, rather than picking a column color, I just set the conditional formatting. So that's how it comes in normally. And again, you can, manually pick the colors, which is fine. And again, under more colors, that's where you can find the hex codes as well.
Yeah.
So if you need those codes for your measure, but all you do, click on the FX instead. That's your conditional formatting of your bars. I want to base it on a field value. I want to base it on the, and you come in here and you say this one, the conditional formatting rule, click OK, and it applies to the bars. So that's my little tip, is use measures for conditional formatting. I think if you've got complex measures and you're using a lot of them, it can slow down your report a little bit compared to manually doing each one. But for me, it's been fine.